Comes along. So one of the reasons why we're here is to complain and protest, because the complaint part is we who are inside, and the protest gang, they are outside. So we have come to complain over the undue interference of the NBC in the affairs of media organizations in the country. And yes, AIT has been directly affected, but it's not only AIT that is being targeted. It's a complete clampdown on press freedom in the country. And we stand shoulder to shoulder with the media, especially Dark Communications today, because we know that if it is not resisted, it will happen to everybody. That's being here today. And at this point, I would like to call on the chairman Dark Communications to, make his presentation before this
commission, questioning our right as a media house to even have opinion. We run editorial, we run a commentary. Every media house in any part of the world has a right to actually, on its own, come out what it desires or what it thinks is the right of that media house on a given issue of national interest. And when the issue of the president of the Court of Appeal presiding over the election petition, based on international law, based on the information available from us, from the NJC rules and regulations, based on the practices, decided cases in court, we came forward and actually stated that it is the opinion of the editorial board and therefore the opinion of Dark Communications that the president of the Court of Appeal should recuse itself from presiding over the issue. It is a right enshrined in the Constitution, the right of freedom of expression, the right to really stipulate and take a position on a given national issue. But what did we get? A letter from the National Broadcasting Commission accusing us that we were one-sided, that we didn't give the APC, that it was contempt of court. Is it the NBC that will determine contempt of court, or is a court of law duly constituted and duly authorized by our Constitution to determine whether there's contempt or law? There are provisions, there are ways, there are processes. But now they say they are prepared to shut us down. I want to state that that every step we have taken in defense of articulating the events, the injustices that have been happening, the erosion of unity in the country by the acts and decisions of the present APC-led federal government has been met with a lot of reprehension by the officials of the National Broadcasting Commission. They say AIT, Ray Power, or Dark Communications as a whole is partisan. But the truth of the matter is that I believe you will recall that during the third term saga in this country, that AIT stood on the part of the National Assembly and the people of Nigeria, even when there was a PDP government, to say, no, the interest of the people of Nigeria must be protected and projected. And we stood, and we came out very clearly, with editorials at that time, to say, President Olusegun Obasanjo, there is no provision for tenure extension. You have served your time, bow out honorably. During President Umaru Yar'Adua, the doctrine of necessity, again, we stood out and we defended. In 2015, 2011 to 2015, we came out when there was the first subsidy issue in support of the Nigerian people. We have always stood on the side of the Nigerian people. That is our primary obligation. But here we are, we are being accused of partisanship. But generally, I must quickly add that the partisanship that we are being accused of is by the leadership of the NBC itself. That the man that currently heads the National Broadcasting Commission contested election in Kwara State and failed and returned to office, and that it is he that is a representative of the APC and is using his office to gag and close down most of the stations. Therefore, I believe that we need to appeal to the National Assembly to please kindly consider the urgent need to review the National Broadcasting Commission to ensure that partisan persons like Mr. Kawu Modibo is shown the way out of the NBC so that the Nigerian media can have a breath, a fresh air. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
Distinguished members of the press, we have with us here the common sense senator, the person that is distinguished Senator Ben Murray Bruce. Thank you. We are here on behalf of the two arms of the National Assembly to receive your letters and also to receive your protest. We have carefully listened to your presentations and the issues you raised concerning the National Broadcasting Corporation, the Commission, over its attempt to muzzle you by way of raising issues that has to do with your activities. First and foremost, it is important for us to restate that the National Assembly in the last 4 years has been media friendly, one that has always opened its doors to listen to protests, objections, and even revolt by Nigerians on issues that touches on justice, fundamental rights, and also our democracy. In the light of this, I think it is important for us to understand that the relationship between the media and the National Assembly has been very cordial. Well, in the words of Thomas Jefferson, that our democracy and liberty is dependent on a free press, and that cannot be lost whenever it is limited. And Quincy Adams too make it a very clear point that press freedom is inviolate. Democracy fully depends on having a free press, freely operating to defend and perform the people's oversight function on the affairs of governance. The media in Nigeria will be rightly said to be the pillar of democracy, one that has stood on the side of freedom and justice and led to what we are today enjoying as a democracy. And in the last 2 decades, you have also demonstrated your responsiveness and responsibility in the defense of the ideals of freedom and the unity of this country. Particularly, the AIT has done so much for democracy. Like other media houses, all the issues we have raised on the issue of third term, doctrine of necessity, these are facts we have seen, we have experienced, and whoever is in a position of authority today is a beneficiary of the services of a free media. And having said that, the issues we raised are germane and are also very important as far as the National Assembly is concerned. You come at a time when we are signing off the 8th National Assembly. So it is still not too late, because among us here, there are people who are going to carry the baton to move issues you have raised here to a new phase and ensure that the press is adequately protected and defended. The Parliament is the guardian of democracy, and it is within our own constitutional responsibility protect and defend every Nigerian and any Nigerian where there is a clear attempt to undermine his right to freedom of speech. On behalf of the Senate President who has mandated us to be here, and also the senators who are here, I believe that your issues will be carried to the last, and we will not allow any institution of government to undermine the liberty that we so much fought, where many people have died and sacrificed their lives to entrench in Nigeria. Without struggle, there could not have been freedom. Without struggle, people have died, people have been jailed. To have a democracy in Nigeria, we will not be silenced, or nobody should be silenced, and we will not fold our arms to see people or institutions, components of democracy, being silenced for any reason.